Ruud van Nistelrooy's final game in charge of Manchester United before handing the reins over to Ruben Amorim is on Sunday, and it's against Leicester. We've been with both camps today. We will join Rob Jones, who has been with Leicester today shortly. But first, let's head to Ben Ransom with Manchester United. Afternoon to you, Ben. And it's a question we've been asking. Has there been contact between Ruud van Nistelrooy and Ruben Amorim? And also, how much of an emotional match will this be for Ruud on Sunday?
Yeah, it is the question. Well, Ruud, obviously, last night after their Europa League victory over PAOK was asked this very question. He said he was going to check his phone, check whether he'd had a text or a phone call. Well, I think we can deduce from what we heard from Ruud van Nistelrooy at his news conference this lunchtime was that is yet to happen. As far as he's concerned, he is obviously preparing for this final match in interim charge, a period which he described today as being really special for him. Remember, he came back to the club in the summer as part of Erik ten Hag's coaching team refresh and has been given the reins to navigate United through this period while they wait for Ruben Amorim to take charge. They both are in charge of their respective clubs for the final time this weekend. Ruud van Nistelrooy taking on Leicester on Super Sunday and Ruben Amorim taking charge of Sporting against Braga. Then next week the Portuguese manager will be taking over and Ruud van Nistelrooy is still waiting to find out whether he plays a role in Amorim's future plans.
It was a special period, it is still. Of course, and I called it an important period because I think it was important to get through the 4 games as good as we could. I think we've done very well so far. The players reacted very well in the games. So obviously the focus is now to build on that and show that on Sunday with the big game ahead and a massive 3 points that are there to win. And so yeah, I don't know if it will be very emotional. I take it very pragmatic as well, although I'm very proud to be able to fulfill this. But we'll see how that will feel on Sunday. And other than that, there's not much more news than yesterday evening, where I think Ruben and I are both, in that sense, focusing on our teams and our games. He's focused on Braga and his team, and I'm focused on Leicester with my team, and see if things can come together in the near future.
And Ben, a win on Sunday, and Ruud van Nistelrooy would leave his interim role with a 75% win rate. Win, draw, win, win. Does he feel that he's handing over to Amorim, a club actually in better shape than when he took over 4 games ago?
Yeah, well, I think that is the general feeling. Certainly the mood has lifted. There's a sense of optimism around the training ground here at Carrington, around Old Trafford, that over those recent matches that Van Nistelrooy has taken charge of, he's carried himself like a manager. He's spoken, as you heard there, so eloquently, so confidently. He's certainly enjoyed this period. And if they do repeat that League Cup victory that he navigated last week against Leicester in the Premier League at the weekend, I think it'll be job well done, because they're into the quarter-finals of the League Cup courtesy of that victory last week. They're in contention again to make the latter stages of the Europa League after a much-needed win last night. They're first, by the way, as a club in Europe for more than a year. And then it was a very creditable draw in the Premier League against Chelsea a week ago. So from Ruud van Nistelrooy's point of view, of course, he's firmly focused on a crucial 3 points. And today he stopped short of saying that the club, the players have turned a corner, but he does get a sense that, you're right, momentum is at least moving in the right direction.
It's easier to manage a team that has won 2 of the last 3 and had a decent point at home against a good side. And the connection with the fans is there, and there's kind of this short good feeling that, you know, we can turn things round. That's what is happening at this moment. And of course, football being football, and especially in top flight football, the results are necessary, and the Sunday game in that is a big one.
Yeah, so it will be a big occasion for the fans to say perhaps another farewell to Ruud van Nistelrooy. In terms of the injury news from the news conference today, they are still assessing Ahmad after his match-winning performance at Old Trafford against PAOK last night. He went off with a knock, didn't he? So they're still hopeful he will be fit to be involved. We were here for open training, the first 15 minutes of the training session today, where we saw Luke Shaw back out playing with his teammates on the grass for the first time since his long-term injury. Remember, he's not played since February. This weekend, obviously, too soon for him, but he is at least back, and Lenny Yoro as well playing a part in that. So it feels as though injuries and the injury list is going in the right direction ahead of Ruud van Nistelrooy taking over. No Kobbie Mainoo, no Harry Maguire, though. They're both out for this weekend, and from Manchester United's point of view, from Ruud van Nistelrooy's point of view, 3 points, I think, are essential.
Thanks very much indeed for the moment, Ben. Let's get to United's opponents, shall we? And Rob Jones has been with Leicester City today. Hi there, Rob. So that EFL Cup defeat to Manchester United, you imagine it still must be pretty fresh in Steve Cooper's mind. I wonder, do you think it will affect his approach or not that much?
Afternoon, David. Well, I think for all the reasons that Ben has just spoken about, that EFL Cup tie certainly felt like a far more significant and important night for Manchester United than it did for Leicester, whose primary focus this season will be staying in the Premier League. Steve Cooper made 9 changes to his team that night. He pretty much altered the whole spine. Mads Hermansen had the night off in goal. Wout Faes didn't feature, neither did Harry Winks or Wilfred Ndidi. Jamie Vardy too. The likes of Steffi Mavididi and Facundo Buonanotte were both late substitutes at Old Trafford. So you would think we will see a far more familiar looking lineup for Leicester City this weekend when they go there in the Premier League, because there is absolutely no doubt about it. The main focus for Leicester this year, after being promoted last May, will be staying in the Premier League. And 10 points from their opening 10 games represents a pretty good start. You would say that in and around a point a game would be enough to keep Leicester City in the Premier League for a second successive season. But this is what Steve Cooper makes of facing Ruud van Nistelrooy and Manchester United at Old Trafford for a second time in such quick succession.
It was a League Cup game last time, and now it's in the league. I think that they've obviously got a few players back available than what they did 10 days ago, and maybe that makes a difference to their personnel on the pitch. But yeah, whenever you play, Manchester United, home or away, you're coming up against a team with some very strong players and really talented players, and it's very much something you have to be mindful. Like I said, whenever and wherever you play them. But we're looking forward to going there again. We're disappointed we only got the draw last weekend at Ipswich, and we want to get back on the winning trail. So next game is the one to look forward to, and we've had a really good week's training, real determination with the guys, and it is a little bit uncanny that we're playing them so you play the same opponent so quick in 10 days, but a game to very much look forward to, and that's what we want to do.
One of the things that you could praise about Leicester City this season is their resilience. They've taken 6 points from losing positions. Only 3 teams in the Premier League have bettered that: Manchester City, Tottenham and Aston Villa. And one of the keys to that has been Jordan Ayew, a signing in the summer, turned 33 in September, but has played his part in a couple of significant results. Firstly, a winning goal as Leicester came from 2-0 down to win at Southampton. And then last week, he applied the finishing touch to an excellent team goal to earn them a point against Leicester. And you would say that the results against the teams around them, the likes of Leicester, Ipswich rather, Southampton, Everton, who they've already drawn with as well, Crystal Palace, will be key to them staying in the division. Another of the summer signings that drew some praise from Steve Cooper earlier on today was Facundo Buonanotte, who's on a season-long loan from Brighton. There was a bit of analysis released earlier in the week from a Swiss company of the most valuable players under 21 in world football. Well, Facundo Buonanotte was 15th on that list. Steve Cooper admits there's not been a conversation. He doesn't know whether there will be as to whether Leicester would be able to explore keeping him on a permanent deal until the end of the season, but you certainly would expect him to feature at Old Trafford. And if Leicester can win at Old Trafford for the first time since 2021, then they'll go into the international break above Manchester United in the Premier League table.